The road to Hill Station stretched endlessly before us, a winding ribbon of asphalt swallowed by the dense, silent wilderness. My friend Ben and I were headed to my family's old cabin, a 12-hour drive from civilization, buried deep in the heart of the forest. The air grew colder as we climbed higher, the trees closing in, their gnarled branches knitting a canopy that blocked the sun. The woods were eerily quiet, no birds, no rustling leaves, just an oppressive stillness that made our voices sound small and hollow. "Man, this place is creepy as hell," Ben said, his eyes scanning the shadowed forest as he gripped the steering wheel. "It's just the woods," I replied, trying to sound nonchalant, though the silence unnerved me too. "Wait till you see the cabin. It's rustic, cozy. You'll love it." We arrived at the cabin just as the dusk painted the sky blood red. The cabin was old, its wooden walls weathered but sturdy, nestled in a small clearing surrounded by towering pines. We huddled our bags inside, the floorboards creaking under our steps. The interior smelled of old wood and time, with a stone fireplace and a rickety table and an ancient bookshelf in the corner. We settled in, cracking open a couple of beers, laughing off the long drive, and planning hike for the next day. For 2 days, it was perfect, peaceful, isolated, exactly what we needed. Then, on the third night, things changed. It started with a cry from the woods, a faint, desperate wail, like someone calling for help. Ben and I froze mid-conversation, our eyes locking. The sound came again, sharper, more insistent. "Help! Please help someone!" "Some people out there," Ben whispered, his face pale. I grabbed a flashlight and we stepped onto the porch, the beam cutting through the inky darkness. The cry echoed again, but it was wrong, distorted, like a recording played through a broken speaker, the words slurred and warped. We ventured a few steps toward the tree line, the flashlight shaking in my hand, but the voice seemed to shift, coming from deeper in the woods, then closer, then everywhere at once. It was not human. It could not be. "Let's go back," my voice barely above a whisper. Ben nodded, and we retreated to the cabin, locking the door behind us. We did not sleep much that night, jumping at every creak of the old cabin. The next morning, we found it. An animal skull, bleached white and grinning, placed neatly on the doorstep. A deer, maybe, its empty eye sockets staring at us. "Some kind of prank?" Ben asked, but his voice trembled. "Who the hell would come out here?" I said, kicking the skull into the dirt. "There's no one for miles." That night, the cries returned, louder, more distorted, a mockery of human desperation. We stayed inside, curtains down, pretending we didn't hear it. Morning brought another skull, this time a fox, its teeth bared in a silent snarl. Day after day the pattern repeated, cries at night, skulls at dawn. A rabbit, a bird, a raccoon, each one placed with deliberate care, like an offspring or a warning. By day 6, we were on edge, jumping on shadows, barely speaking. I was pacing in the cabin, trying to shake the dread that clung to me like old clothes, when my eyes fell on the old bookshelf in the corner. Something about it drew me in, a nagging curiosity. I ran my fingers along the dusty spines, most of them crumbling novels and field guides, until one book, bound in cracked leather, fell to the floor with a thud. I picked it up, heart pounding. The pages were yellowed, scattered, filled with scrolled handwriting of the cabin's previous owner, an old man named Elias. It was a journal detailing his years living here. Most entries were mundane, weather reports, hunting trips, but as I flipped toward the end, the tone shifted. "Found another skull today." One entry read, "Deer, right at the door, like the others. The woods are too quiet. Something is watching." My stomach twisted as I read on. The entries grew frantic, describing cries in the night, distorted voices mimicking human pleas. "It's not a person," Elias wrote. "It's something else. It knows I'm here. It wants me gone." The final entry sent ice through my veins. This morning, a human skull. Not flesh, just bones, grinning at me. "I'm leaving tomorrow. If I stay another night, I won't wake up." The journal ended there. Nothing more. Maybe Elias escaped, or maybe he didn't. I showed the journal to Ben, and we sat in stunned silence, the weight of it suffocating. "We need to leave," I said finally. "Tomorrow, first light." Ben nodded, his face ashen. "Yeah, no way we're staying another night after this." But we didn't make it to tomorrow. The next morning, day 7, we woke up to a new skull on the doorstep. Not an animal, a human skull, its jaw hanging open as if frozen in a scream. My knees buckled, and Ben swore, voice cracking. It wasn't a prank. Whatever was out there, it knew we had read the journal. It knew we were planning to leave, and it was not going to let us.
We scrambled to pack, throwing clothes and supplies into our bags, our hands shaking. "We leave now," I said. "We will hike to the main road if we have to." We rushed to the car, hearts pounding, only to stop dead in our tracks. The tires were slashed, deep gashes tearing through the rubber. The air felt thick, the woods watching us, the silence deafening. It knew. Whatever it was, it had been one step ahead of us the whole time. "Grab the bags," Ben said, his voice low. "We walking now." We slung our bags on our shoulders and stared down the dirt path, the cabin shrinking behind us. The forest seemed to close in, the trees leaning closer, their branches clawing at the sky. Every snap of a twig, every rustle in the underbush made us flinch. The cries stared again, faint at first, then louder, circling us. "Help me. Please help me." "Keep moving," I hissed, my heart hammering. Ben, face slicked with sweat, his eyes wild. We had been walking for hours, the path twisting endlessly, when I realized something was wrong. The trees looked familiar, too familiar. "Ben," I whispered, stopping. "We are going in circles." He looked around, his breath ragged. "That's impossible. We have been following the path." But there it was, just ahead, the cabin. We have looped back somehow, the forest spitting us out right where we started. The human skull still sat on the doorstep, its grin wider now, mocking us. The cries grew louder. Shadows moved at the edge of our vision, too quick to track. The air grew heavy, like a storm was about to break, but the sky was clear. Ben grabbed my arm. "We can't stay here," he said, his voice breaking. "We will try again. Stay close." We turned to run, but the path was gone. The trees had shifted, closing ranks, their trunks forming a wall that had not been there moments before. The cries became screams, not human, not animal, but something ancient, something hungry. And then we saw it, a shape in the darkness, tall and thin, its limbs long, its face a blur of raw and shadow. It does not move like a person. It glided silent, the skulls at its feet rattling as it passed. Ben screamed, and I grabbed his hand, pulling him towards the cabin, the only shelter we had left. We stumbled inside, slamming the door, piling furniture by a low hum that vibrated through the walls. We sat in the dark, clutching each other, waiting for dawn. But the night stretched on, endless, the hum growing louder. I don't know if we will make it to morning. I don't know if morning will come at all. All I know is the thing in the woods is still out there, and it's waiting.